Well, a good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evan Sokenyi, and I'm glad that you've joined us here on Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show, that is the Candy Talk. I'm here with my resident guest, Wakili Willis Otieno. Wakili, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I can see you've decided to come quite early in the morning and do your fair part in building the nation.
Yes, civic education must continue while we do our legal work. Yes.
Well and good. I want us to understand some of these things that the president is doing. And of course, he's on record recently saying here that, look, we've got no time to waste and the country is on the right trajectory. He's saying that the naysayers will not derail him at all. And finally, he says here that he's a man on a mission, and his mission particularly is to make sure that he gets this country to the right direction. Of course, according to him, you people who've been very heavy and fierce critics of him are kind of naysayers and full of negativity. Let's get it right here. And of course, in there, we're also going to look at the G2G oil deal. Remember, it's supposed to be coming to an end. I wonder whether the government should actually try and renew the contract. But let's begin from here. The president's pronouncements on his development agenda, what he believes in versus what we are actually seeing on the ground.
He has no time to waste, but he has wasted our 2 years. 2 years that will never recover. He has no time to waste, but he's wasted our 2 years. He's saying that the country is on the right direction. That is him maybe in the right direction on his own. The rest of the country is just downhill trend. He's leading the country in the wrong direction. Maybe he needs to define what is the right direction. Unless he wants to lead himself. But the people of Kenya are seeing him driving them in the wrong direction. When he talks about negativity, no one is full of negativity. People demand of their leadership to serve them, not to lord over them, not to lead them to an abyss, an economic abyss like he's doing. There's no negativity when you point out. No one forced him to say that he's going to host, he's paid 500 million to host the Grammys.
Yes.
No one told him to release that money. It's not even in our budget. There's nowhere in our National Budget Appropriations Act 2024 that indicated you are going to spend 500 million on Grammys when you have shift share patients who are suffering because shift shares failed. No one told him to end the G2G oil thing, that even when crude prices go down, the plus price goes down, Kenya, we are still paying more than a landlocked country, Uganda. No one told him to come up with a fake university funding model that has led to over half of our students not being in school. Those who qualified were admitted, not reporting to class. So if that is what he calls negativity, he's the one who comes up with the negative things. The godfather of negativity in this country is William Ruto Kasongo. It's not the people of Kenya. He's the signature. People are just responding to the things he's done and said. So when you point out, he wants us to keep quiet, but that money is not his money. It is the people's money. Every Kenyan, wherever they are, contributes to that kitty. Even a newly born child contributes to the national kitty. For as long as they are breathing, they are contributing to the national kitty. And a leadership is meant to be a trustee for the people. Come up with policies, ideas, and spend the kitty to the benefit of the people. And it is right within the people to say, no, you are not doing the right thing. We are not feeling the impact, positive impact of your interventions. We are actually feeling pain. So if he wants to be left alone, not to be criticized, there's a home in Sugoi. He can go and live there. But he can leave our national status. Because once you are there, criticism is part of it. Because people want better. You've offered yourself to serve, and you must serve. And people will shout at you morning to evening, overnight, even as you sleep, even as you drive, even as you shower. People will be on you because you are holding a public trust. And if you don't know that criticism, go to your private space. Don't come into a public space. Don't live on our public resources. So there's no negativity in this country. There's wokeness in this country. Wokeness that is about the people's agenda. People are now holding the leaders to account. Probably he is not believing it, because he was a student of Moi, where Moi's word was law. He was a demigod, so to speak. People didn't question him. But Moi led our ancestors, not us. Those ones were meek. They had no tools of communication. As we are woke, this generation, they are woke, and they will question you. The why question must be asked. So you cannot come up with policies that are causing pain and you want to receive accolades. No, you receive thorns. So that when you come up with good policies, we'll give you flowers. But when you come up with bad policies, you must receive your thorns. And wear those thorns in peace. Don't make noise for us. In fact, he's the one making for us noise. He's the one disturbing our peace with his negative policies.
The president seems to be telling Kenyans here that he knows what he's actually doing, and is actually urging Kenyans to support him and believe in him. Do you really think that that should be the case? We just believe that President William Ruto will deliver?
Step into Brooklyn Boutique in Juja today at JB Stores, first floor in Juja. Discover the latest women's fashion in jewelry, clothes, shoes, bags, and purses. Call us today at 0721 348 629. Brooklyn Boutique, where style meets elegance.
The sweetness of a pudding is in the eating. When he first came, he said, give me 100 days. It came and passed. Then he said 6 months' time. 6 months came and passed. Then he said 1 year. It came and passed. We are in the second year, starting the third year almost. So what time do you need? Who believes Ananias? Who believes that man's words anymore? That man lies like Ananias, I've told you. So even if you give him 10 years, it will be the same. And, as I said before, his policies, we are people who are tuko na akili kidogo. Kenyans, just give them some credit. They have some little brains. You may not appreciate it, but at least they are people who can think. They can discern. And when you tell them that this, give me time, and they are seeing their relatives dying, their neighbors, their friends, dying because of a healthcare transition that has been botched up. So that person who has died, will he ever come back to life?
Not really.
That university student who didn't report because you transferred the funding model through the university funding model, you transferred the burden to the parent who cannot afford to pay the school fees. That student has stayed home today. He stayed home now 1 year. Even if next year they get money, that 1 year that they've stayed at home will never be recovered. That 1 year means a lot to a student or anybody for that matter.
Yes.
It will never be recovered. So you still want them to give you time so they can stay home for 2 years? The ones who have patients who are dying because of failures of shift share, give you time so that more of them can die before you can say it can work? I mean, when you talk about the cost of living, the economy, government raising taxes every day, raiding your pockets every day, you want us to give you more time to raid more of our taxes? And whereas we are suffering these things, you, on the other hand, you are living large off our taxpayers' money. You are enjoying the largesse of the state. You are calling Adani to hand over to him our prime jewels at a song, an indicted criminal in the US. You are giving them crown jewels here at a song. So we wait for you to bring another Adani, or now bring the Guptas. That is the more time you want. Kenyans have discernment, and they can see when things are bad. They can also equally see when things are good. But William Ruto has reduced us to be discussing mundane issues. When you talk about leadership of a country, we should not be discussing the question of price of hunger, or even building a road. What were you elected to do then in the first place? Yeah. Those are basic things. I mean, it's like somebody saying, I've been given a job as a lawyer and I appear in court, then my client started praising me for turning up in court. Why did he come to me in the first place then? That was part of my work. I was supposed to go to court and defend that client. So why should I be celebrated for appearing to defend the client? No. What was expected anyway from the beginning? That I will appear and defend the client. So William Ruto, when he was elected to become president, once he reported to duty, he is not supposed to be given any accolades. There are certain things that we expected of him that should be basic, that when he does it, we should not even mention. So which roads is he? In fact, people are talking because he's doing the opposite of what is expected of the holder of that office. He's causing us pain. I don't believe there's any Kenyan who voted for William Ruto who was expecting pain, who voted for him to come up with these failed economic policies. But that is what is serving them. So when they are complaining because they are saying what you are doing is wrong. So there's no time that he needs. The only good thing he can do to the people of Kenya is to resign. Say it's enough. I've brought you this far. You're not satisfied with my leadership. I quit. Then we can say, yes, that's good. And when you are a president, remember, you are holding a public trust. What is this thing that you are the only person who knows? That you know what you are doing? That you give me time, I know. What secret is it? What is secret about a public office? It's called a public office. Why are you treating it like a private affair? What secret is it? That is a manipulator. When somebody talks like that, he's trying to manipulate you. He's selling you false hope. So that he can continue doing his little things that hurts you, but benefits him. So he's trying to psychologically manipulate the people of Kenya. But I'm sorry, we are not our ancestors, as I said. This is a new generation of Kenyans. They will question you from a 15-year-old. A 15-year-old will question you more than a 30-year-old. A 30-year-old will question you more than even a 60-year-old. Unfortunately, the 70-year-olds who maybe will have patience with him are the minority. The majority are this group. The ones who have a higher stake in the nation than even William Ruto. Because naturally, they expect to live longer. So it is in their interest to have a country that works for them. To secure a future that they can say gives them dignity. But is reduced our people to penury.
Okay.
We are living a life of indignity in this nation. Walk into the townships. You'll be shocked. The other day I told you about suicides. People are committing suicide. And the number one cause of suicides, joblessness. That you have an average of 2 people per day committing suicide. 2. That's depression, mental health, caused by joblessness. Someone will say it's not the work of government to create jobs. Yes, it's not the work of government to create jobs. But it's the work of a government to come up with policies that facilitates job creation in the economy.
Okay.
This particular government has come up with policies that is shrinking the job market.
Talking of the policies here, Wakili, I want us to finally look at the G2G oil deal, one of the policies that was actually brought on board by the president earlier on in the year to actually ease in the pressure, the dollar pressure that we had at that particular moment. And of course, so far so good. According to you, do you think this particular deal has actually worked for the interest or in the interest of the country? And now that it's actually expiring now, do you think that the government should perhaps renew this particular contract, or should we revert to
From what I hear, they already renewed it, extended it. From
it has been renewed already.
They already extended the contract. But as I say, the sweetness of the pudding is in the eating. If it was meant to benefit, if it was a good deal, the Kenyan people should be benefiting from cheap or lower oil prices. Look at the Platts price of international crude, and look at what the landing costs here in Kenya, and look at the pump price. Are the Kenyan people benefiting from the reduction of international Platts? They are not. So even if internationally the price of crude goes down, look at the exponential, how much of it Kenyans feel. Because in between here, G2G has middlemen, brokers, that have put landing costs that no one knows, freight that no one knows, that is transferred to your pump price. You have banks here that have put their markups.
Okay.
Who is carrying that burden? The people of Kenya. So G2G, when at this point in time, we should be buying a liter of petrol at 130, we are buying it at 175. And the one has to clap for them that has come down from 210 to 175. It should be 130. Just look at the markup per liter. Look at the markup that middlemen and brokers and governments and all manner of cartels are ripping off the people of Kenya. Uganda is a landlocked country. Comparatively, they are buying fuel at a cheaper price. Tanzania, they are immediate neighbors. This month, the price of Platts exponentially went down to actually a very significant drop. But here, Kenya, we are just seeing a marginal drop. Why? Because of G2G. That's why we are saying it's not working. It has not worked.
So-
It has only worked for cartels. Cartels in the government, petroleum sector, and in the banks, with the international friends, who have maintained a markup that is transferred to the people of Kenya to carry the burden. So we are paying more for fuel than we should. So even if there is a significant drop in the price, international price, crude, in Kenya you only get a marginal. So you want to celebrate that you reduced the price of fuel by 2 shillings. When internationally it should have come down more. And this issue of petrol, fuel, it affects everybody. Even border, go to farmers, go to transport sector, go to any product that you're buying in the market. That product finds its way using fuel in one way or another. And that component, is found on your pricing. So everything stays up when they could have come down, just because you're trying to satisfy a few cartels in between. So G2G is a failure. It has essentially made our economy to shrink, but has ballooned, fattened the pockets of some cartels in government, in banks, and in the energy sector. They're the ones who've benefited. So for them, this is the best thing that happened since the birth of Christ. But the people of Kenya, we are robbed. We are robbed. We are robbed for as long as that deal continues. And that's the truth of the matter.
So therefore, would you advise the president, or rather the government of the day, to revert to
I
the
will not
normal
advise-
arrangement?
I cannot advise William Ruto in any way or form. I will not advise him on anything. I will only expect him to do the right thing. But his intention is not to benefit the people of Kenya. His intention is to enrich himself and his acolytes and to impoverish us. So I can't advise such a person.
Okay.
He must just go. Yeah. No advice from us.
So for you, the only solution is that he must just go. Well, he says that he'll disapprove you people. We give him time. The naysayers will come to know who actually has the last laugh at this particular moment in time. I believe you'll be live to witness that particular moment that the president is.
We'll be there to receive the handing over of the instruments of the state to a leadership that believes in the people of Kenya. That's about the people's agenda and economic liberation of our people.
And that understands the needs of the people.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from Wakili Willie Sotino here on this special episode of the Candy Talk. You can weigh in and tell us what you think about what we've just discussed here. Should we give the president more time? Should we believe in him? Should we actually now begin supporting him, as he says? Because according to him, there's so many naysayers in this country, people who are full of negativity. Allow me to stop for now till we have this conversation again. Have yourself a lovely day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this family. My name is Evans Okinyi.
Step into Brooklyn Boutique in Juja today at JB Stores, first floor in Juja. Discover the latest women's fashion in jewelry, clothes, shoes, bags, and purses. Call us today at 0721 348 629. Brooklyn Boutique, where style meets elegance.